This is Camnet News. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. A lovely good evening once again. We look at the stories making headlines on our desk. NAREP in leadership wrangles as members want Steve Nyirenda out. Zambia and Chinese nationals square off over a piece of land in PHI. And Sekute Railway establishment advocates for peace. In international news, thousands attend protesters' funeral amid unrest. And finally, in sports news, Bayern Munich, Barca in Champions League quarter-final 2019-2020. Join me shortly for the details.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444-726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Camnet News. We now look at the news in detail. Presidential Housing Initiative (PHI) residents and some Chinese nationals Saturday morning verbally confronted each other over a disputed piece of land where Chinese nationals are proposing to put up a shopping mall. But the residents say they will not allow them to go ahead with the project on account that the land in question is meant for recreation. Let's get the details in this report. To a month now since the land wrangles ensued between material lawmaker and a councillor, more people have become aware of noticing land illegalities. Saturday, residents of PHI in Lusaka organized themselves to demonstrate against the construction of a Chinese mall in the area. According to them, a skills center is better placed to be constructed there than a shopping mall, owing to the fact that the area already has a PHI mall, which is big and houses many shops. The community members have questioned the current landowners and possibly stop the construction.
You see, until surprised.
Follow the laws and the regulations.
No. But can I just ask you, until surprised that you started the project and the residents are...
we never get any objections.
She's playing victim. Don't play victim. Don't play victim. I know you very well.
You are saying you followed the regulations. You haven't.
You haven't.
One, this land was not meant for a shopping or business enterprise.
Yes.
So you are supposed to apply to council to convert the use of the land. They are supposed to put a poster here.
Yes. So that
we never saw that poster, so that's wrong.
And
then two, you are supposed to get clearance from Zambia. You are displacing our people who drive here. What are you talking about? What jobs are you giving us?
The schools we take our children to, how much we pay? Nonsense.
Don't annoy us, yeah?
Come here and talk about you give jobs. No, you are not going to construct here. Go and tell the person that gave you this land and every office you went to that there is a Mrs. Kalabo who says you won't construct. You won't construct. And for your own information, me, I'm an MP next year. You'll be shocked. You're not going to. Even if you build this year, next year, I'm demolishing this place.
If you build, you waste your money. That's what we are telling you.
No.
Jacqueline Chishimba led the delegation, which insists that they do not want the shopping mall, which is allegedly being built without clearance from the authority.
We have land right opposite Stalilo here, which belongs to the community. And a few months ago, we realized that some Chinese nationals were coming to look at the land. And suddenly we hear they're building a shopping mall here. Now, if you look at this area, just 5 meters from me are homes there, people's homes. Okay, this land has been used by Zambians who own driving schools. That's how they earn a living. This land has been used by young people to play football. And we were not even consulted as a community. On top of that, a few years back, the community had applied for this land to set up a community center. And this land was denied to the community. So how can we today have the Chinese people to come and build a mall? One, this place is not ideal for a mall. ZESCO has already told us they cannot build under the power lines. ZEMA has confirmed to us that whatever feasibility study and impact assessment was not even concluded. They don't even know how these Chinese have come. Now we as a community, and speaking on behalf of the community, as you know, other media also speaking to my other fellow neighbors, we have refused. We don't want a shopping mall here. 1, 2, we don't want Chinese in here.
These land illegalities have resulted in the suspension of Lusaka and Kitwe city councils by the local government minister Charles Banda after it was discovered that the two councils recorded massive land illegalities, and investigations has since been instituted into these matters. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka. Mining stakeholders in Mwinilonga district of a northwestern province have called for an indaba to discuss teething issues surrounding gold mining at Kaseseli Gold Mining, a Chief Chiweka's chiefdom. The residents have for a long time been against the idea of foreign company to be appointed to mine and process the mineral resource at the mining, saying they will not benefit anything. Mwinilonga Member of Parliament Newton Samakai also reiterates the people's voices, urging government to allow Zambians to be at the heart of the gold mining in Kasenseli Gold Mine.
Since the discovery of gold at Kasenseli Gold Mine in Mwinilonga district of Northwestern Province, every Zambian's attention, including that of national leaders, was shifted to the district. As a result of the gold rush, government moved in to safeguard the resource, which was being depleted at a faster rate by individuals. Police were deployed at the mine as government was busy looking for a suitable investor and settled on the Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines Investment Holdings ZCCMIH Gold, who later announced plans to partner with foreign companies such as RA Metals of America and Kama of Sudan to help in the processing of the mineral resource. Zambians have reasoned saying foreign companies should not be allowed to process gold in Zambia when the country can do it on its own. Mwinilonga Member of Parliament Newton Samakai warns that Kama will not be allowed in Mwinilonga. Mr. Samakai says gold mining must be a business for Zambians and not for foreigners.
In Mwinilonga, we don't want to hear ZCCM partnering with Kama. No. Even in Rumfunsa, that thing, Zambians must just rise up and say no. The resources are here. Gold must be the business of Zambians. Whether it's in Rumfunsa, in Kasenseli Mwinilonga, Mumbwa, or Rumezi, Rano, Vubwi, Lusangazi. I know all these places have got. And Zambians must mine this gold, process it, and sell it as a finished product to other countries so that we can benefit double.
He thinks that Kama is being used as a pseudo company for those in power.
I am aware that this Kama is another matrix. Is another matrix of those who have power. Those who have power calling in novices from other countries, and they are putting in money to put up these companies. Instead of being open to all Zambians, a few of you who have power, who are in the corridors of power, you are creating these, calling these people from outside the country, and yet you are the ones that are providing these resources. And you think as Zambians are daft and we are not seeing.
Mr. Samakai discourages selfishness in the management of these national resources, such as gold and copper.
Should we continue suffering when we have resources? We are lacking economic managers. We are lacking people who are selfless, who should look at every Zambian to benefit, who should look at the bigger picture, who should look at improving the welfare of their people within the country. You are just improving your own welfare. That's what causes problems. That's what causes wars or fights in the countries. It's because of the way you manage these resources. Biafra war in Nigeria is as a result of mismanagement of few people wanting to get everything there is in a country. We can't allow that.
As a result of such sentiments, mining stakeholders have called for a mining indaba to be held in Mwinilonga district on Tuesday 18th August 2020 to brainstorm on the matter. Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News.
Government says malaria continues to pose a serious social and economic burden on the Zambian population despite concerted efforts aimed at eradicating the disease. Lusaka District Commissioner David Silubanje says malaria is responsible for lower gross domestic product, reduced worker productivity, worker and school absenteeism and deaths in the working age population. Mr. Silubanje explains that the entire Zambian population is still at great risk, especially the most vulnerable groups such as expectant mothers and children under the age of 5 years. The Lusaka District Commissioner made these observations when he chaired an inaugural Lusaka District End Malaria Zoom meeting aimed at reducing malaria cases in the district, which has increased in the recent years. Zanis has more on this report.
Lusaka District has made significant progress in reducing cases of malaria over the past decade. But more Zambians are at high risk of contracting the disease. Despite some interventions such as annual residual spraying, distribution of free insecticide-treated nets given to expectant mothers and children under the age of 5, among others, the district has continued to record an increase in admissions as a result of malaria. The district is now recommitting itself in eliminating malaria by 2021 and maintaining malaria-free status while ensuring there is no local transmission. A multi-sectoral team dubbed Lusaka District and Malaria Council, chaired by the District Commissioner, has been formed to expedite the implementation of interventions at all service delivery levels.
The Ministry of Health of the Republic of Zambia, in collaboration with the partners, developed the National Malaria Elimination Strategic Plan for 2017 to 2021. Elimination of malaria by 2021 is a legacy goal number 2.
And Lusaka District Director of Health, Rodam Kandawire, said the establishment of Lusaka District and Malaria Council will help government to achieve malaria elimination targets by 2021.
Lusaka District, we are on course to end malaria, but we need stakeholders to come on board in order for us to ensure that we achieve the targets that have been set to end malaria in Lusaka district.
Remember, vector control is one of the big parts of eliminating malaria. If we can remove the stagnant waters, if we can remove the small tins and bottles where water is getting stuck, we can eliminate the...
The Traditional Healers Association of Zambia, which is a member of the council, has implored Zambians to seek early treatment of malaria and have a balanced diet, which it says are key to ending malaria in Lusaka district.
Once this malaria parasites multiply, this patient gets blood finished, blood lowers down. So when your blood lowers down, then it means this person perhaps is going to die because of loss of blood.
Zambia has since transitioned to a new paradigm from malaria control to malaria elimination by summoning everyone in Lusaka district to a practical and workable roadmap of implementing high-impact activities that should warrant elimination of malaria by 2021. Zanis reports in Lusaka district.
In other news, the Sekute Royal Establishment in Kazungula district of Southern Province has urged Zambians to embrace each other regardless of political affiliations or tribe. Chieftainess Joyce Nalucha Sekute says division is disunity and should not have a place in Zambia because the country was founded on the motto One Zambia, One Nation, which she says needs to be safeguarded. Speaking when she received a delegation of non-governmental organizations, Zambians Alliance for Unity, Peace and Development, ZUPED, at her Livingstone residence. Chieftainess Sekute further urged traditional leaders to embrace all politicians, regardless of tribe and political party. And ZUPED President Mary Ngoma has reiterated her organization's call to denounce tribal politics while pushing the developmental agenda for all Zambians. Ms. Ngoma says there can be no development where there is a division based on tribe and political violence in a democracy like Zambia.
It doesn't occur well for that. For example, if me am Tokalea, I go to Eastern Province, just because I'm Tokalea, I won't be welcome in the Eastern Province. That shouldn't be the case. Where I'm going there in the Eastern Province, I'm going to my brothers and sisters. So they should welcome me with the open hands. Even when it comes to what is very important, I think people shouldn't fight. People should vote peacefully. This fighting, I think it has to stop. I think church leaders also, they should try and work hard to try and unite our leaders.
To any social group of their choice without being discriminated. It is an organization which wants to preach peace in Zambia, to unite the people of Zambia. We stand upon the slogan of KK when he said "One Zambia, one nation." This is what we have thought of reviving in Zambia, because most of us have forgotten about the One Zambia, one nation. Hence the fights, the division, especially when we go towards elections. There's too much tribalism, too much violence, that we forget that we are all human beings and we are all Zambians. So despite going for election, belonging to a certain political party, people should know that they are all Zambians and they all mean well. So when we go for election, it's just a matter of choosing the leader that you want and not fighting the other group which is choosing them. It's a matter of choice, the right of choice for all Zambians. So I want to preach peace and unity in Zambia.
You're watching Camnet News. We take a break. Stay with us for more interesting stories.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not pure glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. The National Restoration Party, NAREP, has passed a vote of no confidence in its party president, Steve Nyirenda, for non-performance. Addressing the media Saturday morning, NAREP spokesperson Frank Sichone accuses Mr. Nyirenda of dividing the party and lacking any leadership qualities. But Mr. Nyirenda, who also later held another press briefing, advised Zambians to ignore the member's statement, saying he is still in charge of the party. Details in this report. Where there are two or more people, wrangles are inevitable. With that said, internal party wrangles have erupted in the National Restoration Party, NAREP. Saturday morning, some party officials fired party president Steve Nyirenda, who has been holding to the seat and trying to revive the party for 7 months since his predecessor left, Elias Chipimo. NAREP National Executive Committee members were scheduled to meet Saturday morning, but the meeting could not take off as they differed even before the meeting began. According to the statement issued by party spokesperson Frank Sichone, it is clear that Steve Nyirenda is falling out of favor of some party officials who have gone on rampage discrediting him. Mr. Sichone was in the company of party spokesperson Ezra Ngulube.
Our vice president administration is taking over to be president for now for this party, the National Restoration Party. So all further correspondence that needs to be done through you, the media, has to come through this secretariat. This is the official secretariat where we are going to give you official press statements. Anyone who is not a NEC member, who was also actually appointed by the former president Nyirenda, is actually going to just be masquerading.
And responding to the spokesperson, Mr. Nyirenda has ordered everyone making negative statements on NAREP to stop misleading the nation. He says the party under his leadership will ensure that they emerge victorious in the 2021 general elections.
It is purportedly announced that they have been removed. There is a vote of no confidence of me for dividing the party. I want to assure you that this morning we were supposed to have a meeting, and that meeting did not take place. Prior to the meeting, we had some misunderstandings, and some people decided to leave, so the meeting didn't take place. So I'm not aware, and my members here, you can see, I've got my vice president, Mr. Mamoshi, my vice president politics, Mr. Mwerwa, my chairman, my chairman chiefs, and we are the top executive of the party. We are not aware about those announcements that are being done there, but I can assure you that within the shortest period we should convene a meeting where they can tell us what is the problem. I have never received any single letter or problem from either my vice or the chairman, or indeed any of the NEC members, to say, look, there is a problem.
Meanwhile, Vice President Charles Maboshe, who has allegedly taken over from Steve Nyirenda, has rejected the appointment, adding that he is content with the current position as NAREP Vice President.
I've been content as the Vice President, so as you can help and see this party. So I've not been yearning or craving to be one. So this appointment, the way it has come in, always have to look and see how you need to break the party, or can you bring those other members together.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka. Interesting. We will continue to follow up these stories as it unfolds, and we'll be giving you the updates. In other news, President Edgar Lungu has launched the 490 million kwacha youth fund on the Commonwealth in Ndola. The head of state says the funds are meant to empower young people and make them have access to finances that would allow them to start and expand their businesses. President Lungu says this will significantly contribute to the improvement of young people's lives. He explains that it is his government's desire to empower all youths across the country. Last week, Zambia's Vice President Inonge Wina also flagged off the first phase of the youth empowerment scheme of 30 million kwacha to artists in Lusaka province. Government has established that the high rate of weddings in the country have greatly contributed to the rise in COVID-19 cases. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Kennedy Malama explains that the ministry's data base shows that many patients have contracted the virus from weddings. Dr. Malama states that these high statistics clearly shows that people are not adhering to health guidelines, hence the rise. The government prescribed 50 as the maximum number of people to be in attendance at weddings, reception, church or funeral gatherings. Meanwhile, Dr. Malama has announced that Zambia has in the last 24 hours recorded 165 new cases out of 588 tests done, with 4 deaths and 479 recoveries.
Zambians, it's clear from what we've seen so far since March that the rate of transmission is increasing, and the patients we are seeing, or those who are COVID positive, how they are contracting the infection or indeed the disease is very clear. We've got testimonies of people who went to certain congregate settings. Here we have reports of people who attended weddings. As you are aware, at a wedding, it's almost impossible to maintain what we are preaching or talking about. So we attended to people who have witnessed or given testimony with the history of having attended a wedding. Some of them Chilanga Mulilo, some of them certain traditional gatherings where they expose themselves to people already at COVID-19.
To men and women. 70 patients are admitted to Levi Mwanawasa COVID isolation facility today. 3 are in a critical condition and are under intensive care unit. And we have a further 26 patients who are admitted to other parts of the country, such as on the Copper Belt we have 6, Southern Province we have 10, Northwestern we have 7, and Central we have 3. So the summary of the cases we have today is 165 new cases, 2 facility deaths, 2 BIDs, and we have a total of 70 patients admitted to Levi facility, and we have 26 patients admitted to different
The Lusaka City Council is pleased with the compliance levels among bar owners in Kanyama, Zingalume and Ballaston townships. According to the local authority, constant spot checks in these areas have revealed that there have been adherence to government's directive to the health guidelines and that the bars should be closed. Details in this report.
Naleka Kumamoba, a phrase that means I quit taking alcohol. Fun as it may look, it is actually sad that despite the country recording high numbers of COVID-19 cases on a daily basis, some citizens just can't adhere to health guidelines. Now, these are some of the people who were made to squat and they have quit taking alcohol as they were found at bars and nightclubs. Now, Lusaka City Council says despite all this, the council is happy with improved COVID-19 compliance by business premises in Kanyama, Zingalume and Ballaston townships. Lusaka City Council Public Relations Officer Emmanuel Upikisha says the improvement has been attributed to the presidential directive that has seen an increase in the law enforcement officers patrolling the city and efforts from the local authority.
We have observed that a number of business premises are adhering to the COVID-19 guidelines. This follows an inspection that was carried out by LCC public health officials and Zambia police last night. The operation was conducted in Zingalume, Kanyama and Baraston areas. However, the improvement can be attributed to the presidential directives that has seen an increase in the number of law enforcement officers in the city.
Many, including the Republican president, have called on citizens to follow health guidelines, but it seems Zambians do not care. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Wow. We take a break. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
Welcome back. We now look at international news. Thousands of people have attended the funeral of a man who died during the recent protest against disputed presidential election in Belarus. Opposition supporters turned out in the capital Minsk on Saturday, where they laid flowers, paved banners and chanted for a long-time president to resign. Mass protests erupted after President Alexander Lukashenko claimed a landslide victory in the 9th August vote. The result has been condemned with widespread allegation of vote rigging. The Central Election Commission say Mr. Lukashenko, who has been in power since 1994, won 80.1% of the vote, and the main opposition candidate, Svetlana Tekashaya, won 10.12%. That's it on the international front. We now look at sports news. In sports news, German champions Bayern Munich utterly humiliated Barcelona with a stunning 8-2 victory on Friday that sent them through into the semi-finals of the Champions League in an extraordinary emphatic manner. Thomas Müller scored twice for the rampant Bayern, who laid 4-1 after 31 astonishing minutes, as Lionel Messi and his teammates were condemned to thrashing and felt like the end of the era for the illustrious Catalan club. Both teams have been crowned European champions 5 times. The scoreline recorded Germany's 7-1 win over Brazil in 2014 World Cup, a game where Bayern coach Hansi Flick was on the bench as the national team's assistant coach. Let's have a look at the goals. Remember to also enjoy the African soccer commentary courtesy of Malawi.
Timu ya Bayern Munich kuchokera ku Allianz Arena Stadium, Thomas Muller, Serge Gnabry, Filippo Coutinho amene silingathe ine kumasula zingwe za msapato zawo, Robert Lewandowski ndi anyamata amene amaponya zikopokopo, amaponya mabomba opsa kwambiri, oliza Barcelona, olanga Barcelona, ofinya Barcelona, imene amenyedwa moyipa kwambiri, yapuma wefuwefu onga nswala, bulu wang'amba nthiti, wang'ambira msosovala, asala umphawi, zimbiri ndi njenjete, zaononga Barcelona, utitiri, uzuzu.
Interesting. In other news, the Football Association of Zambia FAZ President Andrew Kamanga says clubs will receive their allocation of FIFA COVID-19 relief funds that will have the first batch dispersed by August month-end. Speaking at the opening of the FAZ consultative meeting with Super League and National Division 1 teams ahead of the 2020-2021 season, Kamanga said 1.5 million United States dollars received in August, while the same amount would be received in January 2020, and the remaining 500 United States dollars will be exclusively for women football. Kamanga said FAZ had engaged the members to ensure that they laid down the roadmap for the 2020-2021 season and avoid the pitfalls experienced during the reconvened league that was prematurely ended in week 27. The FAZ president also revealed that Executive Committee has approved the acquisition of the authorized wearables GPS trackers designed to analyze and improve the quality of football for all Super League and National First Division teams under the FIFA Forward Support programs. That item
to report that FIFA has given all the member associations a grant of $1.5 million, which will be paid, I think, towards end of August. There will be 500,000 paid. Another 500,000 will be paid in January. And there's 500,000 exclusively for the women's teams or women's leagues. Another important area, which is very key to modern football, is the deployment of technology. I think our executive has been very clear that we need to enhance the management of the game. And particularly for the Super League and National Division 1, we also want to introduce the GPS vest. That particular equipment is quite expensive. And I think from our normal FIFA project funding, we took a decision as an executive that we can procure the GPS equipment for all the Super League teams and National Division 1 teams under the FIFA Forward Support. So these are areas where we want to make sure that everyone is receiving the same level of support. We expect that this gathering will give us submissions which will be very key and important as we prepare for the next season, simply because we need now to get to a point where we develop new regulations which will guide how we run football under the COVID challenges.
On that note, we end this evening's bulletin, but before that, the headlines once again. NAREP in leadership wrangles as members want Steve Nyirenda out. Zambia and Chinese nationals square off over a piece of land in PHI. Sekutero establishment advocates for peace. In international news, thousands attend protesters' funeral amid unrest. Finally, in sports news, Bayern destroyed Barca in Champions League quarter-finals 2019-2020. That's it on the desk, but before that, let's look at the Camnet Word Verse for the day, and it's coming from the book of Matthew 21, verse 22, and it reads, "And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith." Thank you so much for staying with us. Remember to observe the guidelines of the new normal, that is masking up, social distancing and hand sanitizing. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. Thank you so much for staying with us. Keep watching.